welcome back to Be Loved, Be Kind, Be You. I'm Ariane.
And I'm Daisy.
And welcome to this week's episode. So Daisy, how have you been this week?
Oh, I've been pretty good. I have been busy at work, but otherwise I've had a pretty relaxing week. How about you, Ariane? How have you been?
I've been pretty good too. I've been busy at school this week, but I've been having a lot of fun learning new things. I'm feeling overwhelmed with happiness that people have been watching and participating with us in these videos.
I am overwhelmed with a good feeling, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed with less comfortable feelings. Have you ever felt overwhelmed?
I've felt overwhelmed before, especially sometimes with school or when I have a test coming up. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
For sure. When a job feels too big, I can feel overwhelmed. When I have made too many mistakes in a row, I can feel overwhelmed. And when I feel that way, I want to start over. I want a fresh start. I want the chance to try again and make everything right. Have you ever had the opportunity to start over on a project that was overwhelming? Have you ever wanted to take a break and rest before trying again?
Fresh starts feel good. When we have a fresh start, we feel hopeful about the next step. Imagine how great it feels when you clean up your room. You can see all the things where they belong, and you can play on an empty floor. An empty floor can feel peaceful. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed when something isn't fair. Injustice can be overwhelming. Imagine a rule in your classroom that helped some of your friends but didn't help you. How would you feel if your teacher changed the rules so you could all succeed in your own ways? Would you feel relieved?
Today's song is a little different. It talks about compassion in many of the ways we've learned over the past weeks of our series. It talks about caring about each other, being present, and it talks about speaking up when things are unfair.
Hey there, friend, are you okay? I hope you have a good day. If you need me, I'll be there. I am compassionate, I care. I am compassionate, I care. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do to help you? If I don't agree with you, we can always talk it through. If you need, then I will share. I am compassionate, I care. I am compassionate, I care. If you fall, I'll lend a hand. If you're sad, I'll understand. I'll stand up for what is fair. I am compassionate, I care. I am compassionate, I care. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do to help you?
As we prepare to learn more about fresh starts, let's begin with a compassion prayer. Place one hand on your head and one hand on your heart. We've been doing this because compassion happens in our brain, but we also feel it in our hearts. So repeat after me. Compassion helps create freedom and fresh starts.
Compassion helps create freedom and fresh starts.
So let's care for the earth and all living things with gentleness.
So let's care for the earth and all living things with gentleness.
May our hearts smile and our actions sing.
May our hearts smile and our actions sing.
As we help bring health to the whole world.
As we help bring health to the whole world.
Amen.
Amen.
Now Daisy is going to read a story about this episode's topic.
Under the Lemon Moon by Edith Hope Fine. Deep in the night, Rosalinda heard noises. Whoosh, snap. What is that, she wondered, slipping from her bed. She peeked out past Mamma's garden with its papa-clothed scarecrow and past the wash line. Way back by the lemon tree, something was moving. Heart-thumping, Rosalinda crept to the doorway. Blanca, her pet hen, fluttered down from the rafters. The lemon wedge moon gave only a sliver of light. She waited for her eyes to grow used to the darkness. Then she saw branches shaking in the shadows. Rosalinda looked harder. A man with hunched shoulders was stuffing lemons into a cloth sack. Her lemons, from her tree. With Blanca under her arm, Rosalinda slipped out and hid behind the scarecrow. Who is this night man? Why does he take my lemons? She wondered. Blanca flew to the scarecrow's head. Rosalinda wobbled its stiff arms. "Aye!" cried the night man. He grabbed the sack and fled. In the morning, Rosalinda touched the stump of a broken branch. Not a single lemon was left on the whole tree. A tear slid down her cheek. "Oh, mi arbolito, my little tree!" Rosalinda crooned a sad song as Blanca brocked along. She loved her lemon tree almost as much as she loved Blanca. "Why, Blanca, why did he do this?" Rosalinda asked, clutching a bundle of twigs. Blanca's feathers drooped. By the end of the week, many leaves of the lemon tree were yellow. Some had fallen. Rosalinda's worries got bigger. First the nightman, now her tree was sick. After breakfast, Rosalinda listened to the thrum of Mamma's loom. "I must do something," Rosalinda told her parents. "Perhaps someone we know can help," Mamma suggested, smoothing Rosalinda's long hair. "A neighbor or friend, or your abuela," added Papa with a big hug. He turned back to his workbench. Rosalinda set out. "My tree is sick. What should I do?" Rosalinda asked her neighbor, Esmeralda. "I talk to my plants," said Esmeralda, tending her lush flower garden. "I did that," thought Rosalinda. Aloud she said, "Gracias." She caught up with Señor Rodolfo, her friend of few words. "My tree is sick. What should I do?" she asked. "Much water," he said, heading for the nearby mercado, the marketplace. "I did that," thought Rosalinda. She remembered the heavy buckets of water she had lugged to her tree. Aloud, she said, "Gracias." When Rosalinda arrived at her grandmother's house, Abuela was sitting on her porch in the morning sun. Rosalinda settled in close to her, watching Abuela's knitting needles flash. "What should I do for my tree, Abuela?" "It will take time for your tree to heal, mija," she said. "I will light a candle for you." "I haven't done that," thought Rosalinda. Aloud she said, "Gracias, Abuelita." Abuelita eased the worries from Rosalinda's forehead with her warm hand. The next day they went for a walk together. They circled back through the mercado with its colorful stalls and busy shoppers. Then Rosalinda stopped. "Limones," said a sign on the last stall. Behind a man, a woman rocked a baby. Their two small children played nearby with pebbles. Rosalinda knew this man with hunched shoulders who was selling lemons. He was the night man, and the lemons were hers. Rosalinda shivered. She and Blanca ducked behind a stall lined with bright marionettes. "It's the night man, with lemons from my tree." Rosalinda talked with her grandmother again. "To take your lemons was wrong," Abuela murmured. "Perhaps he had a need." From her flowing sleeve, Abuela pulled a strong branch with tiny buds. "Mira, watch," she said. "Recuerda, remember, the moon will be full tonight." Rosalinda listened with her heart and mind as Abuela spoke of how to heal the lemon tree. That night, Rosalinda crept outside under the lemon moon. She closed her eyes. "Mira y recuerda." Watch and remember. Rosalinda tore an old rag into strips. She held Abuela's branch against the stump of the broken branch of her lemon tree. They fit as naturally as a fat lemon fit in Rosalinda's cupped hands. Round and round she pulled the ribbons of cloth, binding the two branches until they held as one. Moonbeams poured over the sickly tree, making yellow leaves look silver. After many days and nights, her tree glowed golden in the night, dripping with lemons as big and round as baby moons. Arms wide, Rosalinda danced around the shimmering lemon tree. Blanca followed, wings aflutter. The next morning, Rosalinda told Blanca, "I know what to do." She piled fat yellow lemons into a wooden cart. Blanca perched on the lemon pyramid. Off they went together. Friends and neighbors greeted her on the way. One by one, Rosalinda gave away the amazing lemons. "Que grandes! How big! Gracias!" said Esmeralda. "Hermosos!" said Señor Rodolfo. "Lovely!" "Que jugosos! How juicy! Gracias!" said Abuela.
Glad you found me helpful. Let me know if there's
When
anything I can do.
Rosalinda had given away all but one of her lemons, she headed for the last stall of the mercado. Rosalinda stared at the nightman, and he stared back. Then her warm hand touched his cold, rough hand, and she gave him her last fat lemon. "Lo siento. I am sorry." The man lowered his eyes. Rosalinda found her voice. "Siembra las semillas." "Plant the seeds," she told him. "Do it tonight while the moon is still full." The man was quiet. He tilted his head toward his family with their worn clothes and hungry faces. "For you and for them," said Rosalinda. "I will do as you tell me," he said. Rosalinda smiled. With a puck, buck, buck, Blanca flip-flopped into the little cart for the ride back home. She settled in, content. Rosalinda felt content too. Except for one fat hen, Rosalinda's cart was empty, but her heart was as full as a lemon moon. Okay, now we are going to color our coloring page. And as we color, we're going to discuss some questions about the story we just read. And if you guys want to think about the answers to the questions or ask your own questions about the story, feel free to do so.
Daisy, in the story, what do you think about how the Nightman felt? Like, why would the Nightman take Rosalinda's lemons? What need might he have?
I think that the Nightman probably took the lemons because he was trying to support his family. Like we saw at the marketplace, he was just trying to keep his family safe and healthy. And the only way he knew how to do that was by maybe taking some lemons because he had no other means to support his family. I think he must have been feeling kind of desperate to help and support for his family. And the only way he knew how to do that was by selling some lemons.
I think you're right, Daisy. I think he probably felt pretty bad about taking those lemons, but wasn't sure what else to do.
Exactly. I think it was the only thing he could think of, even though he didn't really want to do it. Ariane, how do you think Rosalinda felt at the end? Why do you think she felt like that?
I think she probably felt pretty good about giving the Nightman one of her lemons. Sometimes when you see someone else who has hurt you, it can be easy to respond with anger, or you want to go tell them that they hurt you, but instead she chose to act with kindness and realized that the Nightman wasn't trying to hurt her feelings and steal her lemons. He just needed some help. So when she was able to, she gave him one of her lemons, and because she chose to act with kindness, I think she probably felt pretty good after she helped him.
I think that's pretty much exactly how Rosalinda felt. And I think that's really nice of her for showing compassion to the man.
Daisy, have you ever had to forgive someone for something that a person did or caused? How did forgiving them make you feel? How do you think your forgiveness made the other person feel?
Yes, I have had to forgive someone for something. And, I think that forgiving them really made us both feel better about everything. It made me kind of relax and feel a lot better about the situation. And it made my pain about how I was hurt go away, and it made me feel better. And I think it definitely made the other person feel relieved about what they did because now it was okay because they have been forgiven. And I think it's a very freeing and compassionate thing to do to forgive someone for something that they've done to wrong you.
I agree, Daisy. I think forgiveness not only helps the other person lift a weight off their shoulders with their guilt, but also lifts a weight off your shoulders too.
Definitely. Ariane, your coloring looks really good.
Thanks, Daisy. I really like yours too.
Me too.
I really love that we get to talk like this, Daisy. It feels like we can have a fresh start too when we think about how we would act in the story.
Once you're finished with the coloring page, cut it out. This coloring page will be a reminder of today's episode. We hope you want to put it up in your house to remember that compassion gives us fresh starts.
This week, find your poster and find all the moments of compassion that shows fresh starts and caring for each other, and color them in. Daisy, can you find two people painting a globe mural?
Ooh, a globe mural. Oh, I see it right there, right at the food bank.
What about a rainbow?
A rainbow. Ooh, a rainbow just by the prison.
At home, see if you can find even more moments that show fresh starts and compassion and caring for each other in your poster.
Thank you everyone for joining us on this week's episode. We hope you have a great week and I hope you enjoyed this episode. This week, we'd like you to think of something that you're excited to start something fresh and new and have a fresh start at something. Ariane, is there anything that you'll be excited to start?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Daisy. I am really excited to get a fresh start on my health, and I'm going to do that by exercising more.
That sounds great.
What about you, Daisy? Is there anything you're excited to get a fresh start at?
I think that I am going to start being more creative and getting more in touch with my creative side. I am excited to have a fresh start at that.
That's awesome.
Thank you everyone for coming. We'll see you next week.
Bye.